Welcome back to another reaction video. This one I'm going to be reacting to, what is this guy's name? 6 most disturbing moments caught on live TV. I did go ahead and I went and skipped the first one because I already seen it before. I haven't seen this video, but I've seen this viral clip before of this reporter finding a dead body in the water that he was reporting about in the same river that the girl unfortunately lost her life in. And he was standing there doing the reporting and he just stepped on something. He's like, oh my gosh, what is that? You know, it turns out it was the girl that everybody was looking for that went missing in the water, and he ended up finding her. But I already knew that, so I kind of didn't want to fake my reaction to it, you know, because I already know the story behind it and all that. But this is, as soon as I move my name, see. Chilling Scares. Yeah, Chilling Scares. So, Chilling Scares is his videos. I'm going to react to these. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. And, yeah, let's go ahead and roll it. I skipped ahead a little bit, but not too far, because I didn't want to go into the next one. But let's go ahead and roll it.
And it wasn't long before divers.
This is the ending of that story that I just said too.
Of Risa from that exact spot. Later autopsy report confirmed that there was no foul play involved.
No, she just accidentally drowned in that body of water, and it's crazy that that news reporter, the one from the beginning, actually found her body.
Happened to her was nothing more than a tragic accident.
Yeah, accidents like that happen, man. I know. I know accidents happen way too well, man. Unfortunately, I lost my cousin to drowning, man. It's not good.
On September 25, 2025, the CBS 6 station in Albany, New York received a strange email with a 2-page document. It contained a nearly incomprehensible...
To everyone who is suffering in this world, Arnold Schwarzenegger teaches that we should make yourself useful. I am open to talking with all YouTubers that I can, since they can present conversations over sound bites. I invented a brain saver medical device concept. What?
Brand featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, archaic centuries old.
The most important law in America is whatever that. I don't know. I don't even know what that law is, to be quite honest. Is that in the Constitution? It teaches that the people may resume the powers of government whenever necessary to their happiness. Our happiness is the law. The law is what is best for the community. It is best for the community to have our government in the hands of... Is it best for the community to have our government in the hands of
laws and a proposal to create a board of trustees with prosecutorial...
This is why we need a board of trustees to ensure self-government, the law, and quality of life. With this law, we can irregular constitutional change with... Okay, I botched that word to death. Change with after-the-fact public support, as Jefferson taught on the... Okay, you guys can read the rest of that if you want to.
Unity. However,
I don't think I'm going to read them all, but I don't know what...
Important aspect of this document wasn't its content. Instead, the reason it stood out among the hundreds of emails
what happened here
received every day was its author, 53-year-old Lawrence Krauss, who
Lawrence Krauss
also included a selfie alongside the document. You see,
okay, so he's the one that wrote it?
Lawrence was currently under investigation for ending the lives of his own parents and getting away with it for over...
What? Whoa, bro. This took a step in a direction I didn't expect it to go.
For 8 years.
I thought it was just going to be like, you know, some lunatic writing a letter to the government or something, but he took his parents' own life. That's crazy. To be able to take your own parents' own life, the two people that brought you in this world, so to speak, you know, which they did, because if they didn't have sex, you wouldn't be here. To be able to take them out, man, you have really problems. You have a lot of mental problems.
It happened in August 2017. His 86-year-old father and 83-year-old mother were living out their...
Dang, they were that old too? Old man. Just sad.
Retirement in their home.
How could anybody take out their own parents? That's crazy.
Court
I know it's happened before in the world, man, but... Man, it's still just crazy to think about that. There's like mental people out there like that can do this type of stuff, especially to your own family member. I mean, it's bad if you do it to a stranger, but to do it to your own parents, I don't know. For whatever reason, I just feel like that is a whole lot worse.
In New York, and that suddenly they were gone without a trace. None of the neighbors saw them leaving or heard anything about where they were going. Their house was also left abandoned, with Lawrence only visiting it occasionally to collect mail, mow the lawn, and clear the snow. When asked about his parents, he claimed
that where are they at? They weren't inside the house, I guess?
They had moved back to Germany and won't be coming back.
Back to Germany, okay.
Neighbors had no reason to distrust Lawrence, so no one questioned their absence, and life went on as usual. A distant relative even requested a welfare check in 2020.
So, they didn't, call... Nobody thought to, call Germany, okay? So, you can establish that they were from Germany. So, when he told them that, oh, hey, my parents moved back to Germany, nobody in the family thought to, well, where at in Germany? Can I call them at least, talk to them? Just to see how they're doing or see why they moved back to Germany. It looks like this is the course that this woman took. She took the initiative, right?
Repeated the same explanation Lawrence had given, ending the officer's questioning without any further suspicion. It wasn't until mid-2025 that the Albany police became aware of something shady going on with the Krause.
How? How did they become aware of something shady coming on?
Family. Someone had been collecting Lawrence's parents' social security payments, even though the two hadn't been seen in years.
Wait, yeah, they were still getting social security payments? Probably their son. Is that why he took them out, just for the money? I mean, that's insane to me. Why would you take out your own parents just for money, bro? That is crazy. Just for a few dollars. Wow.
Resulted in the police launching a formal investigation, and after months, finally executing a search warrant at the Krause home on September 23rd. Over the next 48
hours... So did he do it? I'm assuming that he did do it.
Hours, detectives collected thousands of financial documents and other evidence. More importantly, they discovered the remains of Lawrence's parents buried in the backyard.
Oh, man. So he buried them in the backyard. Wow. So sad.
Quickly knew that he was the prime suspect in this case.
Yeah, who else would it be? Yeah.
Of turning himself...
Especially since he's saying lies about them, saying that they went to Germany. Meanwhile, they were in their backyard. Right there, that's a red flag, right? You say, oh, well, they went to Germany. Well, who told you they went to Germany? Well, they did. They told me, right? Seeing this, I think I would make a good investigator because I would just ask dumb questions. I would just play dumb. So they went to Germany, okay. So when they tell you that, and if the person said, well, they told me, obviously that person's a liar, right? And that person probably knows that they were in the backyard the entire time. But I think I could make an okay investigator. I would just play dumb sometimes. Sometimes playing dumb is what you would have to do just to see. Problem with a lie, you tell a lie, then you have to tell another lie to back up that lie. Then you have to tell another lie to back up that lie. And eventually you're going to get caught in your own web of lies.
Fan or trying to run away, he made the unusual decision of sending this document to the local news network alongside his contact information.
Unfortunately, Donald Trump says, I don't know.
One of the directors...
I'm not reading all that. I thought I was, but I'm not reading all that.
CBS 6 was familiar with the Krause case and immediately jumped at the opportunity to interview Lawrence. After giving him a call, Lawrence claimed that he was...
Did he confess?
...willing to do a live interview with the channel only if they published his document on the internet for everyone.
What's his document? You're going to have to stop calling me, person. Okay, I'm in the middle of a recording.
To see. The network agreed, and less than an hour later, Lawrence was sitting with a CBS 6 reporter for a live interview.
Okay.
Lawrence was a bit...
So he sat down with the live interview? So he got a live interview on a news channel.
Hesitant at first, but after some pressure, he cracked and confessed to everything.
I want to hear from you.
He confessed on live air. Was this live or was this pre-recorded? That's what I want to know. Because if it was live and he confessed to murdering his parents on live TV, that is completely insane.
Yeah.
What did you do to your parents?
I buried them in their property.
Bro, he's just flat out admitting it.
You buried them in the backyard of that house in Albany.
Right.
When it actually happened.
Bro. Wow.
When your parents died, did they know what was happening to them?
Oh, yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand?
Well, yes, no one else's.
Right. So
Wow, so they knew that he was killing them. Man, lock this guy up, bro. I don't know if he belongs in the loony bin or in prison or underneath the prison.
they
He's
realized
got
what
issues, bro.
you were doing to them as it happened.
Yes.
They
How
knew-
could you do that to your own parents? Especially them seeing you do it to them. You know, there's no love there whatsoever. You can say that right off the back. He doesn't love his parents. I love it when people say, you know, oh, I killed him or I killed her because I love them. Okay, you don't kill people you love. Okay, so this guy hated his parents.
that this was it for
You
them.
don't hurt people you love. Okay, yeah, moment of rage or whatever like that. Like accidentally murder, but like purposely murder. No, I guess it's the same thing. I mean, even if you're mad, if you love someone, you're not going to kill them, right? So, yeah, this is crazy.
They were perishing at your hand.
Yes. And it was so quick.
How did you do it?
At least it was quick, bro. I mean, yay. Is that supposed to make things better? That you did it quickly, not slowly? Yeah, how did you do it? What weapon did you use? Did you use a gun, I assume? Maybe you just shot him.
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you've just told me.
Yeah, bro. Okay, you can't talk about that, but you literally just said on it. I don't know if this is recorded or live, but you literally just said that you killed your parents and now you don't want to talk about it. Really, bro? Come on, man.
That
Right.
it was at your hand.
Right.
Were there drugs involved? Was
No.
there a suffocation? You suffocated them?
Oh, wow. What a slow way to go. And him being younger, them being older. Yeah, man. It's just, how did he do it? Like, did he do it like when they were in separate rooms, right? Because you imagine if the dad hears like squirming around, he'll grab his gun. I don't know if all old people own guns or not, but I mean, just did they do it when they were sleeping? Because surely there's like some movement, right? If you can't breathe, you're going to be fighting, like moving. But maybe they were so old that they weren't able to fight back whatsoever. In this case, I believe that's probably the case, man. But wow, the fact that he actually had to smother them, I assume with a pillow, just standing over there watching their lives go right, but probably even watching their lives, just like just standing over them with a pillow, and then like their limbs just go limp. That's crazy.
You suffocated your parents.
Yeah.
What made this confession so disturbing, however, was the way Lorenz tried to portray it as something righteous. His argument essentially
Wait, he what? Something righteous.
boiled down to, my parents were suffering from old age, so I did them a favor. Even though the neighbors described the couple as elderly, they were by
Yeah,
no means
bro,
sick
what the
or
heck?
dead. They had normal routines where they tended to their garden, shared mint leaves with neighbors' kids, and listened to Polish music every day. Their lives
Polish music. And these are the type of people he wanted to take off the face of the earth. Man, disgusting human being right here, guys.
weren't nearly as miserable as Lorenz tried to portray during this interview.
Look,
Now,
you know he's a psycho. He's not even wearing no socks. Right there, let that be a clue. You know somebody's a psycho when they don't wear socks with shoes. That's the first sign of someone being a psycho. And also another sign of someone being a psychopath is when they pour the cereal before the milk. No, everybody knows you pour the cereal. Wait, no, I mean they pour the milk before the cereal. Everyone knows you pour the cereal and then the milk, not the milk and then the cereal. That's a sign of a psychopath. Another sign.
it's unclear if he's severely mentally ill and genuinely believed everything he was saying, or if this interview was his way of trying to paint himself as the concerned son to earn the public's favor before his inevitable
Bro, you ain't gonna earn the public's favor.
arrest. In either case, he had no way of escaping the consequences of his heartless actions.
Good. So they must have called the police as soon as he confessed that the news stations did the right thing. And
He was arrested immediately after walking out of the network's building.
yeah,
and is
they called the cops on him. Yeah, right thing to do.
currently awaiting trial for the death of his parents.
Okay. Well, there's
On
that
the night of
disturbing
October
story.
28, 2023,
What's this one?
the Utilita Arena in Sheffield, England was packed with over 8,000 spectators. They were there to watch
Hockey, oh, I like hockey. Okay, I like seeing the fights in hockey.
the ice hockey match between the
That's the
Nottingham
best part of hockey, in my opinion, is when they all always fight each other. I think they still let them fight too.
Panthers and the Sheffield Steelers. The whole thing was also being broadcast live.
Man, oh no, is this? I think I might have seen this one. If this is the one where the icy player like lifts up his leg and catches the guy right here in his throat, I've heard about this and I've seen the video. Man, it's
TV
disturbing.
for fans across the world. And the match started off completely
If this is this one, I'm assuming it is. Maybe it's not.
normal. The first period ended without either team scoring a point.
Right,
About
right,
35
right,
minutes
right,
later,
right.
the score was 4-2 in favor of the Sheffield Steelers. The
Right,
Panthers
right,
needed
right.
to
The
score
Steelers, yeah.
soon if they wanted to make a comeback.
Uh-huh.
So one of their more renowned players, Adam Johnson, got a hold of the puck and started pushing
I
into
think
the
this is the. I think this is the one. I think this is the one.
Steelers' defensive zone. But before he could reach the goal,
Yeah, this is
match
the one. This is the one, man. This is the
got
one. I
interrupted
heard
by
about
one of the
this.
most tragic incidents in
Yeah.
ice hockey history.
He's
As
not going
Adam
to show it, man. Can't show
was
it on
making his
YouTube.
way to the goal, a different player of his team bumped into Matt Petgrave of the Steelers. This resulted in Matt
Yeah.
getting launched in the air and slicing Adam's neck with one of his skates. For those
It
who
was a total accident. I don't believe that this guy did it on purpose. Like he said, the player, he bumped into his other player, and that caused his leg to go up in the air, and it caught him right here, guys. It caught him right there. And I think he passed away, the hockey player, because, like, as you can see, I don't know if he'll show it, but there's just, like, drops of blood just all over the hockey rink. All over there, but it was, some people were going on, like, was it intentional, or was it, like, purposely, or was it just an accident? And to me, it was just an accident because he bumped into the player, right? Accidents, unfortunately, happen. So that's what all this was. I don't believe it was intentional. I don't believe the hockey player whose cleat like slit that guy's neck, I don't believe he was like aiming for his neck. He was like, "Oh, come over here. I'm going to kick you with my, my hockey shoe or whatever blade, It was just a freak accident, man. Unfortunately,
don't know, professional hockey skates are sharpened to a
Yeah, they're
razor's edge.
sharp. They're sharp.
So it took very little force to leave a deep laceration across Adam's neck,
Yeah.
causing him to bleed profusely in front of both the live crowd and the TV audience. Medics at the arena tried to stop the bleeding, but the cut was too deep. He had already lost a lot of blood on the ice. Adam was then rushed to a nearby hospital. Unfortunately,
I don't think he make it. Yeah, I don't think he made it.
Despite going into surgery as quickly as possible, Adam couldn't survive the injury
Whoa.
and passed away just hours later.
that's bad.
Matt was arrested shortly after on suspicion.
See, yeah, I forgot he was even arrested because some people thought he did it on purpose.
He cut Adam on purpose. However, investigators found no foul play in Adam's.
Yeah, I think it was just a freak accident. I mean, it's right there on video as well. You can see him running into the other player when he does that. You get off balance, your leg just goes up. I don't think he was intentionally aiming for his neck. There's video proof of it, but some people still believe that guy did it on purpose. I'm not one of those people because the evidence speaks for itself. That it was an accident. A freak accident.
Death, and ultimately ruled it a tragic accident. The
Yeah.
only silver lining in this entire case is that it resulted in the English Ice Hockey Association making neck guards mandatory for all players.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good, man. The neck guards should be able to stop that blade, I hope. I'm assuming that's why,
Something that would have likely
Everybody's going to have to start wearing those due to this accident. So it shouldn't happen again. It shouldn't happen again.
prevented altogether. But at the time, wearing this protective gear was only a suggestion.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not mandatory. It's just a suggestion. They should make it mandatory, I feel like, because then they're just, what the players don't want to wear it, then they're just setting up for this freak accident to happen again, not unless it's like once in a blue moon accident, but because they made it a suggestion that you should wear it, I feel like maybe a lot of players won't want to wear it because, maybe it throws them off their game or whatever, but at the same time, I guess you don't want to force your players to do it, But at the same time, on the other hand, you got to let your players know, hey, if you don't wear this neck brace, just know you do have that chance of that happening to you, right? You're doing it at your own risk at that point, right? So, I mean, do I think they should make it mandatory? I don't know, man. It's to save lives. I mean, it's just like a little piece. Maybe it's uncomfortable or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know if they should make it mandatory. That's a tough one for me personally. Maybe you guys can figure it out. You know what I mean? Whether or not it should be mandatory or just like optional. You know, but if it is optional, you know, just let the players know you're taking that chance on freak accidents happen, man. Especially in hockey, you know, or in any dangerous sport. You know.
On the evening of September 2, 2011, TVN, one of the biggest networks in Chile, was airing the latest episode of a show called Calle 7. It was a live game.
Calle 7? Never heard of this show before. Well, because it wasn't in America, right?
Game show where teams
only in America!
Competed in various challenges to make their way to the top, and this weekend's episode was supposed to be no different. But things took a disturbing
turn. Looks like they're holding back. What's going on?
About halfway through the episode when the show's host interrupted the competitors seemingly out of nowhere and told them to stop.
Why? What happened? What happened? What happened?
Quiero que paren la competencia, por favor. Nos acaba de
We
llegar
just received some information that's very difficult to share. What
una
happened?
información muy difícil de entregar.
But we didn't want to say anything before thoroughly checking what was happening.
What
happened? Tell me!
Lo que está sucediendo porque compromete a
because it involves people from the channel. People we care deeply about.
Del canal, a personas muy queridas, a un equipo del
a
canal.
Team from the channel, including, writing up all their names.
Felipe
What happened?
Y Bruce. Roberto Bruce, que también estaba
who was on a flight
vuelo
to
a la isla de
Island.
Juan Fernández, según tengo entendido. Esa información
As I understand, the information we're receiving right now,
el Ministerio de
and that the
Defensa
Ministry of
informó
Defense reported this
esta tarde,
afternoon, the
el
President of the
de
Republic stated that
iba al borde de una nave
was
de la
on
Fuerza
board
Aérea de
a
Chile
Air
que
Force
capotó en el
aircraft which
archipiélago de
was
Juan
involved in a
Fernández.
crash. Oh.
However, the reason for this interruption had nothing to do with the show itself.
So what? They lost everybody on their team in a crash, airplane crash?
The host was talking about the C-212 Chilean Air Force plane that departed from the Arturo Merino Benitez International Airport earlier that day at around 2 p.m.
Poor people.
It was headed for the Robinson Crusoe Airport.
Yeah, it was going over to the airport. What happened?
Hundreds of miles.
Did they hit a bird?
Off the coast
Did
of
the
Chile.
engine stop?
Did
they forget to get gas? I don't know, guys. I don't know what happened.
Was
visibility like too bad? I don't know.
TV crew from the network, including the two renowned presenters, Felipe Camiroaga and Roberto Bruce. They were visiting Robinson Crusoe Island to report on the reconstruction after the 2010 earthquake.
Okay.
Flight started without a hitch. Unfortunately, as they were approaching the runway, the wind became extremely strong, making it...
Yeah, the wind. That could be just the wind, man. Flying is dangerous because you gotta account for storms, gas, fuel, if all the engines are working properly. There's a lot of things that could go wrong up in the air. Personally, I would feel safer on a boat versus than in the air, because if the plane goes down, it's over, right? There's no chance, especially if you're high up in the air, engines cut off. There's nothing you can do. Pilots lost control of the plane. You're just going down. It's going to be the end. It's going to be curtains. But at least on a boat, you have a chance, right? You still have a chance even if the boat goes down, right? I mean, just look at Rose, right? Rose, Jack, she found that floating door. He found that floating door for her, put her up, and she survived. And she ended up throwing the diamond over the rail, and died an old woman in her bed. So... and the other survivors from the Titanic, for all that matter. So I would feel much safer on a boat that is going down versus a plane that is going down. But man, tough break, bro. The wind, because you gotta account for that wind too, man. The wind can mess up your rotors. Man,
possible to land. The pilot tried to land a couple of times, circling in the air after each attempt.
He tried to land too. That makes it worse.
However, on the third attempt, witnesses saw the plane lose altitude much faster than expected and crash into the ocean just a mile from the island.
Oh, they crashed into the ocean.
By the time rescuers reached the crash
Did
site,
they find anybody alive? Probably not.
it was already too late.
Yeah.
All 21 people aboard the C-212
21 people, bro.
plane had passed away. But while investigators initially
Reminds
believed
me of the plane crash of Aaliyah, but I don't know if there was 21. The R&B singer Aaliyah. I don't know if there was 21 people on it, but her plane went down because apparently there was too much weight on the plane. You know, the plane couldn't keep it. Apparently, I don't know if that's 100% true. That is just something that I heard, but just another thing you gotta watch out for on a plane. You know, weight limit, if that is true. I don't know if there's I'm assuming there is an exceed limit on an airplane like there is for elevators, you know.
all of those deaths were due to the impact of the crash, the reality turned out to be far darker. As they were searching the wreckage, they found footage that one of the cameramen took of the interior shortly
Far darker? What do you mean? Did the pilot go down on purpose? Surely not, right? Don't tell me that.
crash. The footage showed the passengers strapped into their seats, completely unaware of their fate.
That is crazy that somebody shot footage inside the airplane as it was going down and it survived. That's crazy.
But the more haunting discovery happened when investigators
Look how
found
calm they all are, too. They're just all sitting there not knowing what's coming.
an SD card inside an empty water bottle floating near the crash site. This card contained hundreds of images. However, analysis of these images showed that 2 of them were taken after the crash,
So wait, somebody was alive?
including one of the plane's windows covered in water. These images put the crash...
Wait. So they went down and they were still alive, and I'm assuming this is the water line. So they drowned? How come they didn't try to escape if they were still alive? Were they like locked in their seats? Was the door not open?
into a whole new perspective. They showed that several passengers, including the cameraman who took these photos and preserved the SD card in the bottle, likely survived the initial crash. Sadly, they were trapped inside a rapidly...
Okay, so they weren't able to escape. Because that's my first thought, is like, okay, you crash and then you just start automatically taking pictures. Like, no, your first reaction, I would think, would be like, try to open this door and get me out of here, right? But maybe they crashed in a way to where the door got jammed and they weren't able to open it. And unfortunately, you know, they all drowned in that plane.
sinking plane with no way out, forced to watch their aircraft fill up with water.
Yeah, look, so that's creepy right there is the water line, man. That would be so terrifying. Not only the first initial crash, right? That would be terrifying too, but just knowing that you survived and now the plane is filling slowly or fast, filling up with water and you're about to drown and there's no way to escape. Oh, man, bro. Just the fear, right? The fear that you would feel in that situation, in that moment. Absolutely insane, bro. Absolutely.
There was no air left to breathe.
And their camera, I don't know if they took the picture or if maybe the camera just snapped itself somehow. I don't know. But, man, that's terrifying. To look out your window and to see this water line just rising up. Slowly but surely, you know? Man, bro.
Niagara Falls is widely regarded as one of the world's
Niagara Falls, one of the most wonders in the world. I have not yet to see Niagara Falls, but I really want to go and look at it one day, man. Let me know if you guys have ever been to Niagara Falls. I bet you it's beautiful in person. I only seen it in videos.
breathtaking natural wonders. However, while the
I know there was somebody who went over a barrel in Niagara Falls in a barrel, and I think that person survived too. I think it's like a world record.
This is undeniably beautiful. The depths beneath the falls hide the disturbing history of many who lost their lives to the currents. One such incident was captured live on TV on May 30,
no, man. What happened?
1985, when reporter Phil Kavitz was hosting a section about real estate in front of the falls. Suddenly, in the background, the camera captured a man caught in the current behind
Oh, no.
Phil. The rushing water carried him to the edge of the falls before throwing him over the 170-foot drop.
How did he end up in the water in the first place is my question.
And while a lucky few have survived the fall from the Niagara Falls...
Oh, okay, so there have been few people that's actually survived that fall. Those people are extremely lucky.
He wasn't one of them. The treacherous terrain under the falls also made it difficult to retrieve his remains. Once recovered, investigators identified
I bet, man. All that water.
Man as 56-year-old Robert Arends and concluded that the act was deliberate. However...
Oh, so they're saying that he did it. He offed himself, basically.
Robert was only one of the 5,000 bodies that have been recovered from the foot of the falls.
Survival, very little have people survived.
In the last 175 years. Many of these 5,000 deaths were intentional, but there were a lot
Look at this guy, man. This guy's standing. Imagine just standing out there. The water's coming in. The water, you're feeling your legs about to drop. Man, terrifying, dude. I wouldn't even be able to move. But how do people get themselves in these situations in the first place? Like, how did he end up over here? You know what I mean? Did he, like, go out there not thinking the currently... No. I have to believe that this person realized how strong the current was. Just by looking at it, you can tell. So, how did this person get out there? Did they want to do it and then, like, change their mind? You know, maybe? I don't know. Like, what would make a person go out that deep in the Grand Canyon of all places, you know?
that weren't. And unfortunately, surviving a fall from Niagara Falls is near impossible.
Yeah, near impossible. But not impossible, right? Because some people have done it. So it is possible. It's not impossible.
Once you fall in, the cold
Two different things, yeah, man. That person
water makes it extremely difficult to breathe, making it even more challenging to swim to the surface.
Yeah.
The water near the edge can also move at
Yeah,
over
look how fast that water's moving, right?
60 miles per hour, adding another layer of difficulty
60 miles per hour.
to an already impossible challenge.
Yeah.
But the jagged rocks at the base of the falls is what marks the end for most
Yeah, it's curtains once you fall off that cliff.
people.
Man, that was totally insane, guys. That's going to be, I think that's the end of the video. Maybe there's one more?
On the 23rd of August
there's one more,
2010
right.
at around 10 a.m., 21 tourists from Hong Kong returned to their tour bus after visiting the
All
historic
right, Hong Kong. Ching ching kapow chicken.
Fort Santiago in Manila, Philippines. They were also accompanied by 3 Filipino tour guides. And the trip had been going
Okay. I like to visit Hong Kong. You know, Hong Kong seems nice.
fantastic so far.
The people
but
there seem nice. I've never been there, but they seem nice from the videos I've seen there of other people going there for the first time.
just as they were about to set out to the next location, they got interrupted by a middle-aged man in a police uniform.
Oh, no. Here we go.
He was openly carrying multiple firearms, and his demeanor made
Bro,
it
what are you doing? I was just talking about how nice the Hong Kong people are, and then this guy shows up with a gun.
clear he wasn't afraid to use them either, something that became even more apparent as time went on. For now, things started off fairly
He's
calm,
holding an entire bus hostage.
with him asking the driver for a ride to the next station. The bus driver tried to reject the request respectfully, explaining that he couldn't let him on because it was a private vehicle, not a public bus.
Imagine telling somebody with that who has a gun pointed at you, like, no. I cannot take you anywhere, bro, because this is a private bus, okay? If you want to go somewhere, sir, you're going to have to take a public bus, okay? This is private, all right, buddy?
However,
The ball's on the bus driver to say, like, no, you can't take this bus. This is private. Okay, you gotta take the public bus. I don't care if you got your gun, okay, buddy?
man wasn't having any of it. As soon as the bus driver rejected his request, he equipped one of his firearms and claimed that he was taking the bus hostage.
Okay.
This was 55-year-old Rolando Mendoza, a police officer with nearly 30 years of service. But he'd recently been fired over drug charges that Rolando claimed
Yeah. Probably was taking evidence, you know what I mean?
were untrue. Getting fired left him with no pension after 3 decades of hard work. And while he tried to fight for his job through official means,
Maybe that was just his temper point. Because, bro, just like, okay, so he didn't have the gun out. Just like when he told you it was private bus, just take another bus. Like, go to a public bus, bro. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? It's a private bus, probably for business people, I assume. It's not that serial, bro. Just take another bus.
his superiors wouldn't listen.
Some people trip over the dumbest things in life, guys. The dumbest things. The small things. You know what I mean? This is something small. Just take another bus!
In an act of desperation and defiance, Rolando took this bus full of tourists hostage and presented a single demand. He wanted his job back.
You want my job back? I want my job! Yeah, this is a great way to get your job back. This guy... I don't even think this guy thought anything through. I think he's just like going off the cuff. You think this is going to get your job back? Seriously, bro? It'll get you into the prison, but not as a security officer. You're going to be there as an inmate, idiot. Come on, this guy did not think anything through at all.
The situation so far looked fairly manageable, with two of his former colleagues establishing communication.
It's like, give me my job back or else I'm going to off this guy right here. I want my job. Okay, so let's just say, okay, you got your job back. Okay, he comes out all nice, yeah, he's all happy. Then arrest him. Just lie to him. At that point, all the people have to do is just lie to him. You want your job back, you got your job back, man. Come back to work, okay? You're good, you're clear. Just play cool with him. As soon as he gets off that bus, puts his gun away, jump on him like a hyena or like a group of lions. You know what I mean? Like, just lie to him. That's all they have to do. You got your job back. Yeah, come clock in tomorrow, buddy. All right? Now get off the damn bus so we can put you in jail.
Without any pushback. They were even able to convince him to release a few of the hostages. Granting his relatively simple demand would have been easy, but what followed was one of the biggest hostage disasters in the country.
Oh, no, bro. It went sideways. I was hoping for the best outcome, but of course we're not watching the best outcome.
History.
We're watching
all because those in
the
charge
most
couldn't agree on the
disturbing
next move.
outcomes. Right? We're watching the most disturbing outcomes.
Going downhill when Rolando's brother tried to approach the bus and was immediately detained by the officers. This made the already furious Rolando even angrier and more unstable. The situation only got worse once the media got involved. Nearly every
I don't know why they didn't try that tactic either, man. Just lie to him.
Channel in the country started broadcasting the situation live. They talked about everything, including the plans officials were making outside.
Yeah,
what they didn't know, however, was that the bus had a working TV, and Rolando was watching.
Oh, no. So he's hearing everything. He's seeing everything. Big deal, Will.
And listening in on everything.
Maybe this guy needs to work on his spelling, huh?
Helped him formulate a plan and get what he wanted without hurting anyone. Unfortunately, the lackluster response from the officials made a peaceful resolution near impossible. His anger reached a boiling point when he saw how his brother was being treated by the police on live TV. This resulted in Rolando getting blinded by rage and opening fire on the hostages. Around the same time, the bus driver managed to free himself from the handcuffs Rolando put him in and escape through the driver's side door.
No, man. But what about the other passengers?
Unfortunately, while he was able to remain unharmed, other hostages weren't as lucky. Since, according to the bus driver, they were all dead, leaving Rolando alone in the bus. This
man, bro.
Revelation gave authorities the go-ahead to surround the bus and try to break in without any more casualties. But Rolando wasn't willing.
But he just said that everybody's dead inside, so can't you just, like, bomb the bus? I mean, okay, maybe that was the wrong choice of words. Not bomb the bus, because you obviously want to give the bodies back to the families, right, of the victims. But, like, you could, like, I don't know. Because if everyone's already gone, according to the bus driver, couldn't you just, like, unload into the bus? Yeah, but then, yeah, well, so I guess you can't really. It's still kind of a sticky situation. But at this point, right, you can just go in the bus. But if you go in the bus, then there's going to be a shootout, obviously, so.
To go down without a fight. As soon as they tried to enter through the emergency exit, Rolando opened fire, hitting one officer on his bulletproof helmet.
So they're shooting him, yeah.
And barely missing the others. So the officers thought of a different strategy. They flooded the back of the bus with tear gas, forcing him to the front, right into the crosshairs of a sniper, finally ending the hostage crisis.
Oh, so yeah, that was a good move right there.
It wasn't until after his death that police realized the bus driver had misunderstood the situation and that 9 of the hostages were still alive.
Oh, there were actually people. Okay, so good thing we didn't go with any of my ideas to just like, you know, unload on the bus or just to like, you know, blow up the bus. Terrible ideas, but I'm glad there were still people alive. So he misunderstood, but I can see how he got that misinformation, especially in a tense situation like that. You know, your nerves get all bad. You're not really thinking straight, not thinking clearly. So, you know, it's not nothing on the bus driver, you know, but I'm glad there were, I don't know, if not some, I don't know.
Innocent lives broadcast live for the world to see, coupled with officials making wrong decisions at every turn.
Yeah, making wrong decisions, man.
Intense global scrutiny, marking this as one of the worst and most tragic incidents in Filipino history.
Yeah, alright guys, that was the end of the video. I'm going to end the video there, and wow, that was something. I'll see you guys in the next one.